everyone to the LEC, and it's now time for the surprise team of Week 1, Team Heretics, to face off against the winless Xayah. And it's Odoamne's 500th career game in the LEC. So
500?
He got permission to have someone from the team throw confetti on him and give him a solitary balloon. And I really don't want that balloon to be burst today by Heretics.
I mean, let's hope not. Let's hope not. I mean, 500 games, that's like 500 times I voted him for MVP. That's just, it really adds up quick on you, doesn't it?
I was about to say, were you even born when he started? But then I realized we're like same age, so it wouldn't work that well. But it does feel like he's been around forever. I was like a little baby when he started.
You remember being like
98?
9 years old wanting to play League of Legends.
97.
Ooh, okay, you're old.
Can we
Yeah,
not?
I'm actually old.
Can we actually?
That's why I'm sitting here.
This has become like a running theme in esports, where I sit in green rooms and 20-somethings go, oh my God, I'm 23 next week, I'm so old.
You wouldn't believe
and I just,
back. Oh.
Yeah, that's called do some exercise. It's not your age that's the issue, darling.
Nah,
anyway, there are some issues for one team in particular. Unfortunately, XL, they are yet to pick up a win this split, and they are at the bottom of our leadership board. And really, every game does count for XL, because if they're not winning anything this weekend, they're probably not going to make it to the season finals. Meanwhile, though, Team Heretics, they got the memo. They understood that they definitely had to come in all guns blazing. They made the changes that they desperately needed, and now they're heading up the leaderboard.
I mean, 3-0 week to kick things off. You couldn't ask for a better start for them. I think Jankos, of course, was already working for them, but now with the additions they made, Flakked coming out and looking absolutely phenomenal in the bot lane. Also plucking Vetheo away from XL. He's looked solid and like a player they can play around in the mid lane too, which has been a really big improvement for them.
And today is such a big game for him. Like showing, you know, that XL made a mistake, benching him from the team and taking Abbedagge, and really proving to the world what he's got, because he was so impressive last year, but so far he just hasn't really been able to show it in 2023.
And I think one of the things that we saw in his time with Misfits, right, is like so much play around him in the mid lane. Like Zanzar was just living in that lane next to him, supporting him. That never really gelled between him and Xayah during their time together on XL. So now joining into this roster on Heretics, where you have one of the most active and effective early game junglers in the league with Jankos, like you could not ask for a better jungler to support you in there, and already it's been a massive improvement for him.
Spicy fact for you, Vetheo secured more wins with Heretics in 3 days than with XL in 3 months. So to be honest, being benched was the best thing that could have happened to him.
I mean, yeah, well, maybe getting picked up by Heretics.
Oh, that too, but they wouldn't have picked him up otherwise.
Getting benched, not always great, but yeah, joining a Heretics that are off to a start like this, the record speaks for itself.
He's got a new hair, he's got new attitude, and he's now got wins on the board. That's
Did Heretics pay for the haircut? Because that would make the deal even sweeter for him.
I think Vedi paid for the haircut. He actually sent Vetheo to the hairdresser before he headed down. But there was a thing with Vetheo. He was the superstar. He was the playmaker of Misfits. Came into XL, needed to facilitate more. And we did have a conversation with him on PGL last week where I was saying, well, how are you finding things? Because, you know, you were the superstar, but actually the meta now requires you to facilitate more. And he said, well, the meta's been like this for 2 years. That's something I can definitely do. And we've totally seen that. But having Jankos by his side definitely means he's more confident, I think, to make some spicier decisions. Like, for example, the Kai'Sa mid last week. And his team's trusting him to do that.
Yeah, I think that Kai'Sa mid was pretty big in general. I saw Peter Dunn, one of their coaches on Twitter, said that he had played it once in scrims. He went 0-4-0, got completely stomped.
Fantastic.
And then he's like, you know, he described it like the Caps Vayne moment back in the day. You know, we didn't have the greatest success with that in scrims either, but it's like you sit there on stage, it's an important game, and the mid laner goes, hey, I want to play Kai'Sa, guys. And then they actually let him do it, and he just performs so well against LeBlanc. Really, really impressive performance, especially considering they hadn't really practiced it much in scrims.
And I mean, I just love the idea of, you know, a new player joining a team, the coaching staff, the teammates behind him being like, yeah, okay, why not? Go for it. Giving him that trust, allowing him to make that decision. And I think especially in this matchup today, not just facing off against XL, facing off against Abbedagge, the guy they benched him for, is just an amazing matchup for him to sort of take the reins and show both Heretics and XL and all of us what he's got.
Well, I'm excited to see what Vetheo's got because it was definitely a breakout performance last week. I'm also always keen to see what Abbedagge's got because I know he's got 2 of these. So let's head over to another set of biceps. Oh no, we're not. Yeah, set of biceps. It's Trevor. He's heavy lifting and the championship point stake, and he's going to tell us what Xayah need to do. They need to heavy lift.
Frankie, I truly wish I had biceps, but I'm working on my dad bod. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stage here in Berlin, Germany. I know the Berlin crowd is very loud, but I also know they're not the smartest bunch. So I figured I would help teach Berlin, as well as teach all the BGs and MVs watching at home, a quick reminder of how our season works. Now, if you look at the graphic behind me, Berlin, pay attention, right? The LEC is broken down to winter, spring, and summer splits. The winners of each of those splits, as well as however many other teams remaining to make up 6, will advance to our season finals event that leads to Montpellier at the end of summer. Now, we already know G2 and Mad Lions have 1 respective splits, therefore 2 of the 6 potential season final teams are locked. Of the 6 teams that make it to season finals, 3 of them are guaranteed to go to Worlds, with our 4th seed facing off against the LCS's 4th seed for that final spot at the World Championship. So all that being said, as a reminder, I thought it'd be good to take a look at both XL and Team Heretics and how they make it to the season finals. So let's take a look at the table. You can see Team Heretics on the left, XL on the right. They currently have 30 and 10 championship points. Now, crucially, to keep it simple, okay, in order for Team Heretics to have a chance to make it to Worlds and to advance to Summer Finals, they need to place 4th. That's at the end of playoffs. They have to make it to group stage, they have to advance through playoffs, a minimum of 4th, and even in those scenarios, only 24% of 3.6 million scenarios has Heretics advancing. For XL, it's even more dire. Minimum of 3rd, only 17% of all scenarios gets them advancing to the season finals with a shot then at Worlds. The chances are very, very low. Obviously, if either of these teams win the split, they are guaranteed season finals, they're guaranteed a shot at the World Championship. So if you're a fan of XL, if you're a fan of Heretics, those are the minimum placements they want. That being said, I think it is about time to get ourselves ready for picks and bans. So Berlin, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching around the world, let's jump into picks and bans for XL versus Heretics. My job. Welcome back to the Caster Desk, where XL and Heretics are about to jump into draft. While I get my headset on, Vedi, what do you make of draft and what do you make of this note? Did I explain that all right? Was it?
Yeah, I think it made perfect sense. I fully understand. Oh, I was trying to which team are they supporting? Of course, they want Yuumi banned. LeBlanc will in fact be banned. Yuumi's still up and available. Unfortunately, Berlin, when we're this far into the draft, normally the Yuumi isn't banned. Maokai is likely to be banned. It's not looking good, Berlin. It is not looking good at all.
I believe 2 bans left.
There it is.
Cheers. I do want to spare a thought for the design team, for the balance team, because hearing that chant every game, every day, around the world, that is heartbreaking.
Yeah. Maokai, though, of course, is left up, which XL more than happy to take for themselves. Peach, not the most proactive early game jungler, so I do think that a champion like Maokai can work very nicely for him. Wait, hang on, that was a Draven insta-lock. Hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. And Berlin didn't even react. Like, Draven was locked in so fast that Berlin is yet to process that a Draven has been locked in for Flakked. It's funny because the number of times I've been told when teams come in from the ERL, oh yeah, this AD carry, he was a Draven 1 trick for a long period of time. And like, I'm pretty sure everyone in our league was a Draven 1 trick at one point. But wow, blind pick for Flakked there. No AD carry locked on the side of XL. We're actually going to get the Azir coming out from Abbedagge, something we've been seeing a lot over in the LCK alongside the Cassante.
Now that I'm finally set up, I've got my stats. Flakked has got 13 professional games on Draven out of 160 odd. Of those 13, 8 of them are wins.
Not bad.
Not too bad at all, but we've got the Sejuani, the Renekton, Maokai, Cassante, and Azir now locked in. So you would assume Heretics either remove some of those bot lane champions. They could
I would ban Zeri if I'm Heretics. You look at Excel, and right now they're looking at a ranged front-to-back teamfight composition. I think that things like Jinx and Zeri are probably your two biggest threat. Of course, Aphelios is something you want to be concerned about as well. But I guess it depends from Flakked's perspective which matchup he thinks he can do the most damage to. So Aphelios will be the one removed. Now, I do wonder if it will be the Jinx or the Zeri taken away from Patrik. Of course, Patrik's been in the league for a very long time now. I'm sure that he can play pretty much any AD carry under the sun. So I don't think he's too concerned about his pool being limited. But what do Excel now remove? They've got to think about supports that do well. I mean, mid lane, is there also something that they can look to ban off the board? Things like the Ahri, perhaps. The Sylas actually going to be taken away from Vetheo. Of course, we know Vetheo for his assassins. Akali is something I really think Exile have to think about. I guess into Maokai, it's not that great. But Vetheo, when he first made his debut onto the scene, it was his Akali that really drew a lot of attention. And in Europe, Akali has been considered a long-time good pick into the Azir as well.
Now, Akali is Veteo's most played champion. 24 games, 67% win ratio in that middle lane. Also, I like the Aphelios priority being banned away from Patrik, because that is his second most played champion. Out of 230 games, Patrik only has 8 games on Zeri. Now, obviously, it's a significantly newer champion, has been banned a lot. But you have to wonder if they have allowed that through banning the Braum instead. Heretics have to have a high level of confidence in what Flakked and Mersa can do in that bottom lane. Just go, well, listen, use those spinning axes, just chuck him, chuck him out of lane, because that is a very high possible, lock-in here for Patrik. Lucian is still open as well. If they wanted to go that route. For Heretics, one would assume you go for a mid lane counter and leave that support pick for Mersa.
Yeah, I mean, Lulu Zeri is still up. I think it would be totally fine for Excel if they wanted to go for that. This would basically be the same composition the BDS ran last game.
Yeah.
The Taliyah for Vetheo. When I think of Vetheo, I don't normally think of Taliyah. I'm sure he's got a bunch of games played on it throughout his career. But I mean, Taliyah Renekton was a jungle top combo that would often be very effective when Taliyah was played jungle. But I guess the beauty of Taliyah is your ability to push and roam, something that Azir can often struggle to match. While his push is often very good, obviously his roaming potential is not always the strongest. So we'll see what Vetheo can do with the champion, how much he actually gets unlocked and can do on the map.
Vedi. I don't know how much you define by a bunch, but looking at it, 3 professional games on Taliyah for Vetheo, one of which was a win.
Oh.
So definitely not a bunch.
Yeah, it was a bit, I wasn't expecting it from Vetheo for sure.
Patrik will be locking in the Xayah. It is going to be flanked by the Nautilus, and I would love to see something like a Leona, because what I immediately see from Heretics, even without the support pick locked in, they want to go forward. They want to go forward early, and they definitely want to make that death ball. I think there's some more disengage and some scaling options on the side of Excel. Heretics will lock that Leona in. So this is win lane, win game, or win early, definitely, as far as I can see.
I'm really sad that in Europe we really haven't seen much Leona. I know that in the meta she's kind of fallen out of priority, but I think that her ability to engage, and I also think that just Europe historically has had so many great Leona players. We'll see what Mersa can do on it. When you have Draven Leona, that is an all-in bot lane, as you were saying. And with Vetheo on this Taliyah, you're going to have a lot of ability to roam. So whether it be playing through top or playing through bot, I think that Heretics need to unlock Vetheo first. We need to see him playing more on the map. But it was great, like, the Analysts were talking about it. Of course, Vetheo playing against his former team. This was the team that he was benched from. And right now, he finds himself on a 3-game winning streak. He seems to be having a much better time. We are seeing a return of the Vetheo that was really making a name for himself on this.
Berlin and everyone watching around the world, to build on this, I know the Analysts have said it. Vetheo has won 3 games with Heretics last week. That's more than XL have won all year long in 2023. Vetheo will be playing Taliyah for the 4th time ever, looking for his 4th win in a row under the Team Heretics banner. And crucially, looking to take down his former team, who are still struggling to find a win, still struggling to find an impact. And we have a Leona in the audience. Let's jump in a game for XL versus Heretics. Vedi.
Yeah.
Vedi, do you want to know what else is happening this game? Odoamne has hit 500 LEC games.
Wow, there's a lot of old people in this game, huh?
There are a lot of old people. Look at you right there, my friend. Oh, no, not the one I wanted. I'm so old, I got the wrong button. That's the one I wanted. Yeah, no! Go back to Odo, go back to Odo. Yay, there we go. Woo! Wow, my mechanics are not what they used to be, Vedi.
Yeah, meanwhile, we also have this emote when you look at the 0-3 scoreline and you're like, oh no!
Oh, no. That animation for anyone watching is actually listed as dumpster fire on our machine. That is an actual thing on an LEC broadcast.
Why did you have to tell them that?
Because it's great. I see the smiles of Berlin. I do want to just say, just very briefly, that Odoamne is actually only the 4th player ever to hit 500 games after Jankos, Hylissang, and Reckless, respectively. So definitely one of the golden oldies joining.
I mean, what I want to say is that, like, I just feel bad for Odo, mainly because last year he won his first ever title, and everyone was like, oh, finally, he deserves it. Like, he's been trying for so long. He's able to lift the trophy, and he felt so vindicated. And then he comes into 2023 feeling revitalized on what was an XL roster that a lot of people were pretty optimistic about. And then he's back-to-back 10th, and right now is at the bottom of the league for his 3rd split in a row, and is far from the glory of what was last year.
And if you'll indulge me, one last build on that. After Winter, where they went 1-8, Odo said it can't get worse, and he was right. They went 2-7, it was still 10th, it wasn't worse. And right now, on his 500th game, 0-3 on the split, and I think more importantly, facing down Vetheo, the mid laner, who really didn't work with XL throughout 23. What can he do this game? We already saw Flakked and Mersa, they're threatening, stepping forward with those spinning axes. Patrik losing a couple of CS and threatening at least that level 2 engage as it's just been dinged. But I do want to put that timer on Team Heretics, Vedi. I think with this comp they put together, I really feel like if they don't have an advantage early in like driving the pace of the game, I just like late game options from XL's composition.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's true, especially a Draven playing into this comp is very difficult. You've got the threat of a Cassante, you've got a lot of CC with the Maokai, Azir, and Nautilus combined. It's just that early game agency that they have. Let's see if Abbedagge, we saw one Sejuani level 3 gank today. We'll see if we'll see another one work out. Abbedagge's cautious though.
Seismic shove.
Wait, can we click on Abbedagge quickly, observers? I want to keep track of it. So he's got one soldier.
Seismic shove threatens him forward. That's at least one of those conquering, shifting sands, stunned up, shot in the face. First blood by Jankos. That was uninspiring. I mean, as far as an escape goes.
I feel very disappointed in Abbedagge and how he executed that because he had his flash, he had a soldier available. I wonder if he didn't. Oh, hang on a second.
Odo, old man hands, old man hands. New hands champion. Does he fancy the dive?
He's looking for it.
He's going for it. Forces the flash. Flashes himself. Support coming from Odo. Here comes Peaches. Millions of Peaches. Peaches for me. Flash forward into the grasp. One more hit and XL on the board. They bounce it out 1 for 1.
Yeah, well played there by Peach to be able to assist Odoamne when he needed it. Good communication between top jungle results in, at the very least, XL getting a kill back. If we do get a replay, I want to see what Abbedagge was up to in mid, because my expectation was that he would flash down and then use the WEQ, but I guess he was concerned about Sejuani, so he tried to go north, but then he still ended up getting stunned by the Taliyah, was it worked ground? Not worked ground. Is it worked ground?
Worked ground. Wait, that's the passive. You're thinking of the E with the Unraveled Earth.
Yeah, the Unraveled Earth. That's the one I was thinking of. Jankos
looking. Just on the screen, the little minefields.
That one. That's the little minefields. Yeah, I always know them as QWE. You know, the W is on the ground.
Just go with the E. I had to check my notes as well because I'm like, I haven't got Taliyah in a while. My brain just froze for a moment. But look, even start thus far. I think importantly though, Jankos and the Sejuani showing the same thing we just saw from Vedius. Red side Sejuani ganking mid early, getting them ahead.
Which should work for the record. So we'll see a look at it here. So at first I thought, oh, Abbedagge doesn't have E, right? So I would expect him to flash south now and then use WE. But look, he uses it north, and then he still gets stunned by the W from Taliyah.
And then just runs through them directly.
And then they just run him down. He's
Instead of flashing over the wall, running into fog.
I think I kind of see the idea, but the execution was fumbled horribly.
Well, that doesn't mean.
Well, my job is to try and explain it, but apparently I did a bad job.
You did not need to explain anything. Abbedagge needs to explain his decisions. I do have a brief moment, and while we do have a moment and we've sort of set that up, Vetheo, the recipient of that first kill, if you do take a look at his stats on XL versus what we're seeing here on Team Heretics, pretty much everything is swung up. K+A, goal difference, damage per minute. KDA,
winning will do that to you,
it
right?
It does indeed, right? So, you know, for a team that won 2 games all of spring, now they won already 3. More importantly, though, I think when you see Jankos ganking for him early, when you see Vetheo playing a champion like Taliyah that he's only had 3 games prior, I want to see what he can do with those Weaver's walls. How much can he help the side lanes? What level of cohesion do we see with the squad? Because we haven't seen that level of teamwork from XL all year. And for Heretics, I think Broxah was saying earlier, they sort of won the offseason a little. You know, Flakked coming in, Vetheo coming in. They have had a noticeable improvement, at least in the 3 games we've seen thus far in the first 6 minutes of here week 2. Got the first kill, they've got the first dragon, and they're off to a solid start.
Yep. So far, they haven't been able to balloon anything on the bot side of the map, but I don't think that's a massive concern right now. It's between that kind of like, once you hit level 6s and you have more ultimates available, especially around this Herald is where we'll see how XL can execute around the Herald. That wasn't supposed to be. No, stop it.
It was the emphasis that made that sentence. And for XL, as we mentioned, as long as they're even, actually right now they're ahead in gold, minorly, that's a good thing. Then it does come down to that XL execution in the late game of the 5v5. But I also think, let's be fair here, Jankos hasn't got his ult yet, Flakked and Mersa haven't either. So we're still, that window of opportunity is still very much alive for Team Heretics.
The beauty of XL's comp is it's just really easy to play, you know? You just, as long as you're patient.
K-I-S-S.
Yeah, I mean, you love this saying. I learned it in my psychology degree years ago. But yeah, you keep it simple, silly. Jankos looking for an invade now. Does have the smite. Good smite comes through.
They just grabbed.
That's a commitment from Mersa.
Oh, mercy, mercy! That's what Mersa's yelling for. He will go down. Kill should be donated here to Abbedagge. One would hope. Running for his life, can attack
just trying
the
to waste
minions.
time.
So that invade, did they get the buff and now they've lost the kill, right?
Jankos was able to steal away the red buff. Yeah, it was just a bit of an overcommitment, clearly a bit of a miscommunication there from Heretics. At first, Mersa was thinking, oh, with the Maokai ultimate coming out, I can tank one of these routes while using it as an engage, but Heretics were already on the disengage. So XL will take the free kill, giving that over to Abbedagge. We'll give him a small gold lead. Jankos now using this window to look for a play. Ebby's going to ping out that ward in the top brush, and Jankos will be spotted out by Peach. So overall, actually, did XL get vision of Jankos then? Maybe he didn't.
Haven't spotted it just yet.
Odoamne's collapsing though, Vetheo hovering as well.
Well, Jankos giving up that death there to XL. One quick thing is he was involved in the first bloods for Team Heretics last week, and we're just taking a quick look at the early game. Team Heretics starting off very strong here. Odo will be running for his life. Flash already used, caught up by the prison, down to 200 hit points. Ebby, a little bit abandoned, all out used, some fancy footwork away. Odo survives another gank. That was what, a 2v1, 3v1? Whirling death, whirling death, whirling death! Not going to find its targets.
With 176 stacks, Flakked very well may have had enough for the execute, but XL will walk away with their lives. You can see them building about a 1.5k gold lead, advantages across the board for XL. Vetheo in a bit of danger now.
Well, Vetheo flashes away, still gets caught. Find that slide and glide. Nature's Goss dropped down once more, rooted in place, but all of a sudden it's Abbedagge that's left for it. Remember, Team Heretics were on the Herald and the cash in for Flakked.
Wow, okay, so that was very conveniently given over to Flakked. What started off as a 2 versus 1 and a good collapse onto Vetheo ends up swinging in Heretics' favor as Flakked shows up at just the right time with Mersa already assisting on the Herald. Of course, Patrik able to secure a number of plates on the bot side of the map, but that cash in for Flakked, I believe it was about 180 stacks. We saw observers highlighting it was something like 450, 60 gold. Means that Flakked is in a very comfortable position on the Draven.
And a slightly chaotic start to this game. 9 minutes in, the invade from Heretics was punished. The attempted dive onto Odo top doesn't net the kill, but somehow Peach and Abbedagge end up coming away worse for wear, and Flakked is the one that secures that kill in that bottom lane. So we're at a 500 gold game, which is still not terrible for XL. You have to remember, compositionally speaking, it should be simpler to execute. I think also the beefy front line plus the scaling, the likes of that Azir, the safety that Xayah is
also just having a good game so far. He's playing the matchup very well. We saw in game 1 what this matchup could look like, right?
Yes.
With Irrelevant having a 20 CS advantage, constantly forcing Adam underneath this tower, whereas Odoamne is ahead, already ahead in gold, thanks to the kill that he was able to get alongside Peach, and that was able to survive that dive, as you mentioned, very cleanly as well. Means that XL definitely have options as they move closer to the mid-game. Dragon spawns in 35 seconds. XL can choose to concede this if they want to. Right now we can see Peach pathing towards the bot side of the map, even though his top side camps are up, which does suggest that they might very well look for a fight.
And let's talk about Peach a brief moment, because last weekend, very uninteractive jungler, player that didn't have opportunities, didn't find a way to get into...
Didn't really do anything.
No.
He was constant power farming in the jungle.
Yes, and still behind, didn't get involved in lanes. This time around, I think the game has come to him a little, but let's give some credit here. 002 was in the right place, right time. Unfortunately, that mid lane gank a moment ago was punished. This time, comboing with Limit, working to find a kill onto Vetheo. So Peach, he has joined Summoner's Rift, 11 minutes into the game.
Oh, yeah.
100% kill participation, and with that kill, they can also start up the Dragon if XL are so inclined.
The coordination definitely feels better for XL. That was a good punish there onto Vetheo, trying to get a bit of vision around the bot side river. Odoamne looking for the kill here.
Brings him near the tower, chasing forward. Got that ultimate, and Abby's running for his life. Flash still available for him. Caught, pulled backwards. Odo looking for the solo kill. The Ruthless Brain, the Taliyah does so much work. 300 hit points to what, 150. Abby's hiding in the fog of war. He was caught by the blind skill shot. The old man still got it.
Close play there from Ebby, but Odoamne walks away with the solo kill. This matchup continues to swing.
It wouldn't have killed anyway.
Yeah, ultimate not quite connecting, and Odoamne walks away with another kill. 500 games to his name. Odoamne showcasing that he can still compete with the best. Of course, deserves that recognition. A long history here in the LEC. Jankos now with the Herald, looking to drop it in mid lane, get a few more plates into Vetheo's back pocket. But props to XL. They're in a position just like BDS were, where the early game is just going in their favor, and Heretics, after heavily investing in this very early Draven, have been able to convert it into much. Obviously, we're still only 12 minutes into the game. But XL, any kind of early game pressure that Heretics have tried to throw down have been largely brushed aside.
Well, listen, this is an interesting predicament to be in here for XL because they've got the lead early. I think they've punished Heretics' decision-making. Specifically, I think that early invade from Jankos being punished. I think Odo is having a stellar solo game thus far. Now we actually get to look at what can XL do. The Herald may not even get it. I don't think it won't even get the charge off. The kill secure starting to build it up. One lost auto. It doesn't even get the plates.
Which, like, when you have a comp like this, it's really important that you play around Heralds as well, because your ideal is we're stronger at the fight around Herald, and then the Herald itself funnels more gold into our carries, which then further propels us into a stronger mid game. So by getting 0 value out of that, like, look at the gold difference between the 280 carries. It's 100 gold in Flakked's favor, and that's only because he got that cash in. CS-wise, Patrik is doing incredibly well. And again, we talk about these fights. It's going to be difficult for the Draven to play. We'll see. Heretics have been able to find themselves out of sticky situations before. Against Vitality, they lost a couple fights before they ended up winning the game.
Ooh, dredge line connects onto Mersa, but I think it's just to interrupt the back. Be more of a nuisance. I don't see the willingness to fully commit. I will acknowledge, though, itemization-wise, with the Kraken Slayer completed, some thrift shopping for Flakked, there was a power mismatch, at least for that moment.
ETO, maybe find a roam here.
There's wall available. Solar Flare can come down. Solar Flare is dropped. Let the feathers fly. Trade of ultimates. Patrik for Mersa. I also think importantly the wave has been cleared. Flakked and Mersa can decide to push this one further forward if they want to.
I'm hearing sound effects. Kasante sound effects.
I think definitely another observer's audio is being pumped into our feed for now.
What am I? So loud!
Let's
what is the stomping, Trevor? Quick, check the water. Is it Tyrannosaurus Rex?
That is the sound of 2014 champions, Betty. They will haunt your nightmares.
There it is again.
There it is again. Well, listen to this. Odo, defensive dive. Support coming. 4 members of XL. In this northern quadrant instead, just placing what they want the Herald.
It's the new buff that they've given to Kasante. Now everyone can hear his Entofo strikes.
I wish I could remember any of the like actual quotes from the Jurassic buff, because I was going to grab a water bottle and just make it shake. It's just wait for the
I'm surprised that you of all people don't know quotes from the Jurassic Park
It was just
movie.
not my sci-fi. It was just kind of boring. Like, it wasn't space and it wasn't exciting. Like, don't get me wrong, it was fine, but like, I grew up in South Africa, so seeing wild animals, even imaginary ones, just wasn't that appealing.
That's fair, man. That's fair. Growing up, dinosaurs were that was my game. You know what I mean?
Your country has a dragon on its flag. So
also, the most dangerous wildlife we ever saw were bulls. Like, the cow has horns.
Right now, it's XL with the horns. Oh, that was cheeky. Abbedagge won't be able to get away from all 3, though. Emperor's Divide buys time. Mersa needs the...
Oh, that health bar taken away.
I'm clenching so hard as Mersa survives thanks to Flakked. Abbedagge redeeming himself somewhat from that early game. And more importantly for me, Vedi, while we are having a little bit of fun here, it's
I hear so
XL with
many
the gold
sound
lead.
effects. Yes, they do. The top tower goes in favor of XL. The bot tower gets traded for Heretics as they're able to find a good dive in mid onto Abbedagge. Chooses not to invest the flash to get away to safety, which means that Flakked gets another cash in. 600 gold lead advantage now over his lane opponent.
Do you believe in XL's mid to late game abilities?
No. I mean, compositionally, yeah. But they, against Koi, they managed to crawl back a massive deficit, converted that into a 3k gold lead, and then they still somehow lost the game.
So let's ask the other question. Do you believe Team Heretics can come back from this deficit?
Maybe,
that's a
yes.
no, by the way, that's a no.
You know what?
What
it means is that we're in for a game where I don't predict. Yeah, well, who knows?
Territory.
Who knows what will happen?
Okay, well, I'll do this then. Berlin, will XL win this game? That's not.
Oh, that's like the.
Berlin, will Team Heretics win this game? Okay, well, there we go. The fans here voting in favor of Team Heretics. But
XL dropping the Herald bot. The Dragon started off by Heretics.
They're on opposite sides of the map. Team Heretics will get the teleport support in here from Ebby. He's joining the fray. 5 members grouping up. Nature's Gods dropped down by Peach. XL have brute forced the Heretics outside of the pit. Berlin, you did this. You cursed them. Dragon should be secured and is the second of the game for XL. Solar Flare found nothing. The Croc gets hooked backwards. The Glacial Prison is thrown forwards. That's Ebby down and traded. Odoamne is over the wall. He's taken down. Flakked now looking for further kills as Abbedagge is chasing Vetheo under the tower. Jankos on the battle pig will survive for now. The sapling is out. Odo gets the Q backwards. The stab in the face and another kill. XL obliterate Heretics.
They make the fight look easy, and this is what we were talking about. Flakked literally does not get to play the fight. Odoamne isolates him from the rest of his team. The engage is good from Limit, and XL tear apart Heretics.
They're on track to their first win of summer, and we are aware of the game sounds. Everybody at home, it is a bit interesting there. 4 towers to 1, 8 kills to 4, 2 dragons up, 4,000 gold lead. And it might be a little strongly worded, but I think Heretics have gifted many of these advantages and leads to XL.
So Jankos takes a lot of chip damage. They tried to contest the Herald, and now they're looking to disengage. The flash in from Limit engages onto the Renekton, and then just watch how Flakked gets completely isolated from the fight. Then with Patrik largely untouched, that forces Vetheo to flash away. Abbedagge can chase that kill down, but there's 0 backline threat, and the damage from XL means that it's difficult for them to get through the front line. It's just... we're in the exact same situation that we were in game 1, where you have a composition that its core strength is its early to mid-game power, whereas for XL, they've got a much stronger later game, and with the advantages that XL were able to build in the early game, they've gone to that later game point that much quicker, and now they're just disassembling Heretics. It's become a very one-sided affair, and Heretics are now going to have to do some crazy shenanigans if they want to turn this game around.
And the man that has had some of the advantages and the man that was prioritized this game was Flakked. If you look at his stats this summer, 1,000 damage from him. He got 31 kills last week, an average of 1,100 gold up at 14 minutes. This is not the case today. Right now he is down 300 gold. He's behind 20 CS. He's on a champion that is supposed to have dominated lane, and ultimately didn't. I think that invade from Jankos early on into the red, that definitely had an impact, and importantly, the moves to try and punish Odo's Cassante did not pay off.
I mean, this game is very much a top gap. Odoamne, in the 1v1, played incredibly well, got assistance from his jungler, and then off the back of that assistance finds himself an actual solo kill, and then you see his impacts in the team fights as well. Odoamne doing a great job so far in this game. And to be fair, in previous splits, when we saw XL win games, it was largely because of when Odoamne was having a great game. And you give him a champion like this, it gives him so much agency over the map too. 20 minutes now, Baron will be an option. Unlikely to be started off immediately, but something that Heretics now have to be a little bit more cautious of. Started off 3-0, but right now being, well, torn apart by the 0-3 XL.
I came into this game a little bit on the Heretics hype train. I came in like excited after 3-0, seeing Vetheo and Flakked doing well. I gotta admit, after seeing that a 28-year-old man with grandpa fingers is popping off and top gapping, I'm currently leaning towards the Odo show for now. And will be determined by these next couple of minutes. Baron is available. Teleport's been channeled in the mid lane. XL have got themselves a juicy opportunity, but Flakked's got the kill. Flakked's got the gold. Here comes Odo and Abba. Jankos running for his life. The root will land on Vetheo, and just as we start hyping it up, a kill secured by Heretics. Importantly, gold to Flakked.
See, this is where XL gets a little bit shaky, because you have to question why they're even forcing that fight in the first place. Like, what's the goal here? What are they playing around? You know the dragon's spawning in about a minute's time. Instead, you should be prioritizing setting up for that objective, getting control over the mid-wave, start dropping whatever vision you have so that you can go back and replenish those wards. But instead, Limit forces a fight. They don't have TPs available to properly collapse, and instead they just hand over Heretics a free pick, and they hand it over to Flakked as well, who now has the gold advantage once again over Patrik. There's no reason for XL to take these gambles. They just need to take their time, play it slow. Very much, again, what we've been saying about the whole goal of their composition.
It's still, to me, such a monumental task. Like, Draven needs to deal with K'Sante and Maokai. At some point, they will be trying to get in his face. Simultaneously, Nautilus is going to be backing up. If he's able to somehow get past them, then you got to go through Azir and Xayah. It's so hard for this champion to deal with the composition put in front of him with a gold deficit in compared to the entire team. Add to that fact, we're 10 seconds away from the next Drake. XL have definitely got the vision set up already. Wave in the bottom lane is being pressured. Odo, look, pushing out bottom. Heretics will at least get themselves a bounty in the top lane. And look, no Solar Flare, no Weaver's Wall. If they're conceding the dragon, what else can Heretics get? Abbedagge sends the Sand Soldiers forward, and Vetheo is like, retreat! Forced to run for his life. Are we flipping it?
Wait, nah, there's no shot.
There's no shot, yeah.
No, there's no shot.
Not worth it.
Vetheo doesn't have the HP. They tried to cross map, try and find a pick onto Abbedagge. XL will secure their third dragon of the game. And now we start looking at this Baron as a very viable option. XL going to throw out some resets. Their vision control on the map is looking good right now. Let me see if I can find this mini-map button. Where have we gone? Here it is. You can see great control around the bot side. They've done a great job of just keeping this bot wave as pushed in as often as possible. And now with this top wave pushed in, they can reset and then they can start making their way towards this top side river. XL have plenty of time to play with, and the pressure's on Heretics to find an opportunity, which, I mean, aside from Limit over-engaging in the jungle, has been a difficult one to find for Heretics.
And I also think on the side of XL, I don't mind if they play this slow, controlled. Hell, I don't mind if they play this boring. They do have that compositional advantage on their side. They've got the gold lead. So they don't have to risk a dragon unless they've got the vision set up, unless they actually have the angle. So I really want to see that level of patience and control. XL right now got a little bit split up. Heretics waiting for the initiation. Level 11 on Jankos. He's got that prison. Can throw it into a target, but Abbedagge is not there. Teleport is available for him. He's going to try catch this top wave and push it out. I like this. Play a little bit safe, play a little bit sensible. Force Team Heretics to make a mistake. Don't get caught in a bad position. XL, now we're on the Dragon time at 3.5 until the Soul. They've got the waves to push, they've got a tower advantage, so now we get to judge their late game. Get to see whether or not they can actually close a game out with an advantage.
The Baron is the thing that I'm keeping my eye on. Can XL actually get a clean Baron? Still that ward in the back of the pit. You can see that ping on it, which means that XL know it's there. They have the bot wave pushing again, and here we go.
I mean, you can feel how pensive the audience is here. They are heavily Heretics favored, and it's XL in the driving seat. Jankos commits the ulti. Odoamne locked in place. Nature's Gods buys time. Baron down to 3,000. Baron down to 2,000. Secured by XL on the engage. Odo goes all out. Trying to find for further knockback. They engage once more. Kill secured onto Jankos. The next target, Vetheo. He flashes for his life. Flakked remains untouched. And has got the kill back, at least for Heretics. A 1-for-1, but the Baron goes the way of XL.
Two members actually die. Abbedagge is looking for a third.
Gonna find it. Good catch there, Vedius. I missed the second kill. 2-for-1 and Baron. XL in complete control.
And they are. They're gonna keep the pressure up in the mid lane. They know they have the Baron buff. Do they want to keep this going? I think that it would be smart to just reset. And that's exactly what they're gonna do. Odoamne did commit the TP. Doesn't get himself a kill, but will secure a tower. And XL, week 2 when the pressure is on, have been able to secure themselves a clean Baron. They know they have the Maokai ultimate as a zoning tool. Look at how difficult it is for Jankos to even get near the pit. Limit also commits the ultimate to zone him away. Jankos doesn't even get an opportunity to flash in. The ultimate committed onto Mersa from Odoamne puts him in a bit of an awkward position, so he's forced to flash away. Still though, Jankos finds himself up the river without a paddle, loses his life as Patrik secures that kill onto Abbedagge. Flakked does have decent damage, but again, you see how difficult it is for him to really threaten anyone on the back line. That range difference is too big at this point. But just short of 26 minutes, XL with a commanding lead over Heretics and looking to shut down their winning ways.
I mean, the LDR is picked up by Flakked, but again, it's going to take a lot of time for him to burn through Odo and Peach. And you saw on that angle, like, Flakked was untouched the majority of the fight. Wasn't able to find that impact. As we'll take a quick look at the damage dealt throughout the course of the game here. As expected, right? Flakked the main carry here for Team Heretics. Vetheo didn't really have the chance. The side lanes didn't really get influenced by this Taliyah pick. I think Odo did such a great job in the early game.
Yeah, I very much think that, like, this meta, we've been seeing a lot less effective roams from mid in particular. The 4-man roam into early dive. Peach gets ulted on, but yeah, he's totally fine. Walks that one off.
And you were saying, roams, pushing roams.
Yeah, I mean, Vetheo just hasn't had the impact. We talked about how he's only played 3 professional games on the Taliyah. Has a 1-win, 2-loss record. So we were kind of surprised to see this pick come out from him at all. But we know that he's a player that can influence the map. He just wasn't really able to do that on this champ. And because you weren't able to find those early game leads, it's just been a slow ascend for XL. And now you're at the point where there's no real way for you to turn this around. Peach commits the ult.
All right, Nature's Grasp, they'll at least root up 1 and 2. In fact, Flakked forced to flash for his life. Drop below 1,000, Whirling Death comes out. It's 1, 2, 3 kills for Patrik. Looking for the Quadra, double daggers forward. Call those feathers back, Patrik's down low. Odo may be able to secure the 4th. Looking for the ace, looking for Heretics' lives. Looking for the base, looking for XL's first win of summer.
XL wipe away Heretics. The 3-0 team are looking to face their first loss of the Summer Split as XL look to find their first.
XL have got absolute control of the game. After 0-3 start in week 1, they have caught every aggressive move that Team Heretics threw their way and punished it 3 times as heavily. Jankos now in a 1 versus 4, 2 versus 4. Flakked alive! XL cannot finish the game! That's 1,000 gold shutdown! Mersa jumps onto limit. Flakked's looking to continue the chase. Tries to get that adrenaline up. As Mersa's just interrupting limit. Dredgeline as well as Zenith Blade. Teleports available for Vetheo. The game's not over yet, but what can Team Heretics do? Dragon is important. Prevent the soul going the way of XL. And a small hope and breath of life for Team Heretics.
Odoamne does have TP, and he's going to commit it into mid lane, but this Dragon is going to fall. They're not going to be fast enough to secure the soul. TP committed as well from Heretics. Could this be Vetheo losing his life? No, he's going to be able to walk away to safety. Yeah, I think XL need to be careful out over committing here.
There is no way XL can lose the game from this point. There, I said it. I will say it outright.
Well, now we're really going to test the caster curse, aren't we?
I'm hoping. Yeah. It'll be fun if it happens. XL now stepping forward. Odo! Oh no, Odo! He manages to escape for now. Footwork helping him out, looking for that Pathmaker, looking for that knockback. Flakked a little lower mana. 5, 2, and 1. 3.5 items completed. Similar for Patrik. No Nexus turret standing. Supers in the middle lane. And Heretics down 7,000 gold. XL are pushing forward.
Oh,
they are
they're looking to just
for
try
the
and
win.
end the game. Yeah, XL don't care. They're not going to bother waiting for the Baron. Could this be the comeback window that Heretics need?
If you're a fan of XL, you want to channel Drakos' energy. Hit the Nexus, XL! That's what they need to win the game. Sand Soldier's flying forward, level 16 on Abbedagge. Empress Divide is available to him. The Weaver's War bought some time. Vedi, this is a weird situation to be in. XL, they haven't backed out.
XL continue.
Wrong team, people!
Haircut. Oh, the engage!
That's the engage. Mercer's gone all the way in. Solar Flare comes down. The scoop is good enough. XL have bought the time. They've got the kills. They've got the numbers advantage. They've got the Nexus in their sights. 1, 2 more, and the ace secures it for the first time this summer. XL are victorious.
500 games, and Odoamne will make it a win. Deathless for the Cassante, and Odoamne with a stellar performance from start to finish. Heretics drafted a composition that was difficult to execute, and they were unable to find any early game windows. XL slowed the pace of the game, they punished the aggression from Heretics, and they converted into a much-needed win. Both of these teams are fighting for those top spots. Both teams looking to secure a top 4, a top 3 finish to even stand a chance of qualifying for the season finals. And this win was much needed for XL.
Huge, huge win. The comp from Team Heretics needed to get ahead early. And the man himself, Odo, 500 games, 286 wins, top gapping to lead XL to their first win of summer, to lead XL to their 4th win of the year, right? Think about that for a second. 22 games, and this is only their 4th victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird... XL's like, okay, Vetheo, you might win 3 games, but we're gonna make it 4. Vetheo, of course, for Heretics, when you look at this composition, it was a situation where the draft gap really just was that big, and the top gap was really the difference maker. Odoamne, such a stellar performance. We've said it throughout this game, but also Peach felt a lot more communicative with the team. It felt like that they were a lot more on the same page. They were finding early punishes, and overall, XL perhaps trending in an upwards direction. Maybe they've now found a style that works for them. We'll still have to see because there's still a long road ahead of them. And it's no easy challenge as both these teams find themselves at the very bottom when it comes to championship points.
I think on one hand, I applaud the attempt from Heretics on the draft, but it needed to be executed better. It didn't, and that means XL win. So for the first time this summer, it's my pleasure to say your player of the game and nominees at LEC on Twitter is Odoamne, Odoamne, and Odoamne. I don't care what the other ones are. That's where you should be voting. It was Peach and Patrik, of course, as well, for the producers yell at me. But I do think for XL, credit to them. I do think they outplayed what Heretics was trying. I think the top lane matchup, nothing went right for Heretics. I think the invade early on a Draven lane slowed things down immensely, and then crucially from there on out, it was all XL.
Very true.
Very true indeed. All right, we're gonna head on stage with the old man himself, Odo and Trouble.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. Congratulations.
Thank you.
500 games, beginning with a victory as well. Is that a sign of relief, Odo?
I mean, given how it's been going for us, yeah. I mean, imagine it would have been 500 games and then I lose. It would have been it would just be like another round and another jab at us. But I mean, it's a sigh of relief because last week we lost 3 times, but I didn't really feel like we sucked that hard. It was just kind of depressing that you lose 3 games that are all kind of winnable, and the fact that we were not really showing what we're doing in scrims on stage kind of made it even worse, because then it was like a completely different set of problems. So yeah, it's a sigh of relief because from the beginning of the split we knew this was not going to be easy, considering we have, you know, the charity championship points, 20 or 10. I don't even know how we have those. So yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be hard, but I'm happy we turned it around for today, and we'll see what happens the next 2 days.
500 games, a win, a banger performance. You didn't die once on a tap in where you're supposed to be frontline and dying sometimes, you know?
I mean, I didn't do what I did last week, where I was frontlining, but a bit too much, and then I just int and lose the game again.
Okay, you cooked too much. Now it was the real game. Fair enough, Odo. Now, you talked about if you hadn't make it, whatever. You have been part of a miracle run already. Abbedagge was in the team with you. This is the last chance to make it to season finals. You guys need at least a 3rd.
Yeah.
How doable is that?
I mean, it's been kind of the story of LEC, I think, for this year. I don't think we've had extraordinary teams, neither in winter nor in spring. I mean, G2 has been, like, you know, historically dominant. Matt kind of pulled a miracle out of the bag from tiebreaker to winning LEC. So for me, it's like everyone's kind of struggling in their own way. I don't think we have exceptional teams, and in a way, the fact that we sucked so much the previous splits should be beneficial in a way for us, because no one really expects us to do anything, you know. So it's in a way less pressure in that sense. So I mean, it's doable, you know. Why wouldn't it be?
Absolutely, and You may think that no one expects things from Excel, but I know you have a lot of fans at home that expect great things from you, and they have seen great things from you. Now, being in a different iteration of a team in one split, where does that bring you? What is your job? What is your role this time in this particular Excel?
It didn't really change, I guess, because even in the old iterations from Winter and Spring, I was still kind of the veteran and in a way a louder voice in the team, and also, you know, in reviews, game, all of this stuff. So I wouldn't really say that it changed much. It's just yeah, it's just kind of starting from scratch, because with Peach being here and Abbedagge finally settling in as, you know, starting mid laner, there's no uncertainty in the air, who are we playing and all of this stuff. So it was in a way a reset from scratch, and I kind of had to approach a different mindset and have a different mindset for that to kind of not carry on the luggage from the previous splits into this one.
And one quick last question. You're the king of keeping the momentum up in your team. You talked up Rogue to win the LEC title back then. How do you keep the momentum rolling now?
Yeah, I mean, now that we have it, you know, it's definitely something that I will try to do, because I mean, even in Winter and Spring, I tried to build it up, get the speech out of the oven, and then it failed a lot. So now that we have one dub, I can see what I can cook.
All right, we're expecting a lot from you, Chef Odoamne. Thank you very much. Congrats on the win again.
Thank you.
We're gonna go to a very quick break, but when we're back, it's gonna be Koi versus Fnatic. Stay tuned.
Still available for him. Caught, pulled backwards. Odo looking for the solo kill. The Ruthless Brain, the Column does so much work. 300 hit points to 150. Epi's hiding in the fog of war. He was caught by the blind skill shot. The old man still got it. Right now it's XL with the horns. Oh, that was cheeky. But you won't be able to get away from all three though. Emperor's Divine buys time. Mersa needs the
Oh, that health bar.
I think you look to fight, no?
Yeah, I want to fight. Draven, maybe.
I got Draven.
Taliyah. First target.
Taliyah.
Alright, Nature's Grasp, so at least roots up 1 and 2. In fact, Flakked forced a flash for his life. Drop below 1,000. Broxah dead comes out. It's 1, 2, 3 kills for Patrik.